Oh, there you are. Thanks for stopping in again. This chainsaw lineup just keeps getting longer. So there's the ready for pickups. Let's see what we have here. A 271 for a service. We'll start with that one next. A 170 that hit something. A 271 that doesn't run right. A 250C with adjuster issues. A 170 that hasn't ran in years. A hedge clipper for a pull start. A Husky 262 that was given to the guy for free. He knows nothing about it. A 201 missing its top handle. A 201 that doesn't run and looks like it's leaking bar oil everywhere. An MS260 that's been to another shop twice and still won't work. A 291 that doesn't run right. A 261 with a blown up clutch. An 036. And an Echo that won't start. Oh boy, I'm going to be busy. 271. Let's go to the bench. Hey, good morning. Welcome back to my workbench. If you're new here, my name is Erica. It's a Friday morning here, and we're going to start off with this Stihl MS. This is a 271, just the emblem's missing. And the customer says, replace the chain and service it. There should be no issues with it. So just a quick glance. We have a filthy, dirty saw covered in fine dust and a chain that wouldn't cut through butter. Well, let's see what we're into here. So this chain is not sharp, and whoever's been sharpening it doesn't know how to sharpen. So I'm going to take a guess that this saw has been cutting with a dull chain. That's why you see all this just fine buildup all over it. The muffler's kind of a two-tone color. That's a good sign that this thing's been overheating. Well, I guess before I service it and clean it, I'm going to check his fuel, and I'm going to fire it up. I want to hear it run before we do anything. See if there's any fuel in it. Oh, there's a little bit of something in the bottom there. That looks, I don't like the looks of that. Let's dump that out of there. Okay, so I'll pour it out into this. We're starting with a clean container. Ooh, that stinks, whatever that is. And just full of dirt. Have a look in the fuel tank there. Oh yeah, lots of dirt. Lots of, well, a little bit of stinky, dirty fuel. What's new? I'll just pour that little bit of fuel into this glass jar, and then we can see it closer, or see it better. There's so much stuff floating in this fuel. Can you see that? That's all dirt you see going by there. Jeez. I don't see water in his fuel, just lots of dirt. And I was going to put it back in just so I could fire it up on his fuel because he said it runs good. But he didn't really leave me enough fuel to run it. So I won't put it back in. I'll put some fresh fuel in it. The tank is filthy inside, so it's going to have to be flushed out anyways. Some fresh mix just mixed up this morning. And we'll check his bar oil and then we'll head outside. Just clean this up a little bit. If I can avoid getting anything in there, I will. Yes, there is some type of red bar oil in there. Well, let's go over to the door and see how this thing runs. So the sauce started easily for me and it runs. Let's go ahead and I put that fresh fuel in it. I'm going to dump it back out. There's a lot of dirt in that tank. So we'll flush the dirt out. We'll put a new fuel filter in, some fresh fuel, and then we'll carry on with the cleanup and service. I'm just going to swish, give that a good shake. There's the rest of the dirt, and the tank looks pretty clean inside now. There's what just came out of that fuel tank again. So it is clean now. I'm going to pull the barn chain off this, and then we'll pull the top cover off and take a look. So he needs a bar, a chain, and a drum sprocket. Let's go ahead and pull the top cover off of this. Kind of what I expected. It's as dirty underneath the top cover as it is outside the top cover. That is one packed air filter. Wow, that's dirty. The white tip on that spark plug. The saw's been running hot, but poor fuel quality and a dull chain. What else is the saw going to do? Since we're already here, let's have a quick look down the hole. We'll put a new spark plug in this, BPMR7A, NGK, gapped properly. I'm going to put his air filter back on for now for cleaning purposes. I'm going to pull the recoil off of this and take all of this off. Take this saw outside for a deep cleaning. Everything feels tight. We'll get this all cleaned up. We'll take this plastic thing off. Just blowing those little screw holes out so that I can get my tool into them. These are a T20. I'll just take that off in here so I won't lose it outside and I can clean up around it better. My plug's in, my old air filter's on. I'll take this and the other parts outside and give this thing a little spa treatment. I'll be back. While I'm cleaning up chainsaws, Tyler's over here sorting through 2 boxes of chain that were dropped off for sharpening by a tree service. Okay, I'm back from the door. Got my counter all cleaned up here. I got this saw cleaned up fairly well. I mean, I could spend all day cleaning this thing. Anyway, now that I can see it with all the dirt off of it, I can inspect the areas, the clutch area, the brake band, brake spring, the oil line. You want to just have a quick look at all this stuff, looking for any wear, any damage. The muffler is on tight. AV mounts. The saw is nice and tight. There's no wiggling or jiggling. So everything, other than this chain catcher, it's been whacked a few times. I could bend that back into shape. Other than that, everything looks good, tight, as clean as it's going to get for now. I got all the all the big chunks out of this area. I cleaned the cylinder well. There was all kinds of stuff packed in those cylinder fins. You don't want that. The saw wants fresh, cooling air. Okay, let's start putting this thing back together. I just used my pliers on that chain catcher and just bent it kind of back into shape. It's got a few more wax left in it before he gets a new one. I'm going to go ahead and replace the needle bearing with a new one. There's the part number. His bar is completely wore out. His drum sprocket is wore out. So as a precaution, I'll go ahead and replace this. It's probably the same age. It's probably original. I don't think this saw's ever been in for service. It's never been in for service here. Just put some grease on it. New sprocket. And we'll put the recoil back on. Wonder where his emblem went. I did inspect the rope on that recoil and it looks good. We'll take his old air filter off and we'll put a new fresh filter on. We're nearing the finish line here. Put the top cover back on. I don't know what that is, but I can't wipe it off of there. Let's run a little experiment. I just bought this from Stihl. Special cleaner. We'll spray a little bit on that. Let it soak. I'm going to check the spark arrestor. And then we'll come back and see if that wipes off. Just put a little spray on that. Come back and check on this in 5 minutes and see what we have. I don't imagine the spark arrestor is dirty in this, but we'll check it anyways since we're standing here. And the spark arrestor is clean. Okay, let's look back at this. It's been soaking on there for maybe 2 or 3 minutes. Yeah, it is coming off. Got the top layer of it off. I'll spray it once more and we'll let it sit again. Let's move on to the bar and chain. When he dropped this off, he also mentioned that it wasn't cutting straight through the wood. So here's his bar and chain. You see all that sideways movement? The groove in this bar is worn right out. So the chain is flopping side to side. So he's going to get a new bar. And this chain, the rakers haven't been taken down. You can see some of the filing here. It's like some of them, the hook is gone. They're all different. So new bar, new chain. New 18-inch bar with a chain. 23 RS74. 325, 50 gauge, 74 drive link. This thing's gonna cut like a hot knife through butter. Okay, let's check out that little spot again. See how that cleaner, whatever that is, it's really stuck on there, and that cleaner is taking it off. That looks better. All right, so this saw has had light cleanup and a service, new bar and chain. Let's pop outside with it, fire it up, make sure it's running good and oiling good. I'll see you out at the door. Okay, so this Stihl MS271 starts good, runs good, and it's oiling. So this saw was dropped off, and the customer said, service it, new filters, and check the chain because it was cutting crooked. So we found the bar and chain both in need of replacement. We replaced the needle bearing, the drum sprocket. We cleaned this all up. It was quite dirty under the recoil, under all the plastics. We found a little bit of dirty, stinky fuel in that tank, so we flushed that all out. So he's got fresh fuel, a clean, fully serviced chainsaw, and this thing is ready to go back to work. I have a whole line of saws calling my name. I'm going to go make a great big cup of coffee and get back to it. Thank you so much for watching.